recorded November 4th, 1987.
Well, I used to have a little path down through there. I'd cut across to go to Joe Smith. Down across the hollow.
We both brought our tape recorders. I want you to tell Francis kindly about your trip when you come from Nebraska.
Oh, that's so long ago.
As much as you can remember.
Very little that I can remember about it. First thing of all was when I knew we was going to move, you know. I had a little playhouse. My playhouse was in the chicken coop, you know. And the time of year that we didn't have any chickens in it. Because of course, they didn't hatch any chickens that year because I was going to leave. And I cried because I didn't want to leave my playhouse. Oh, when I got here, I didn't care a thing about playhouse anymore. This little creek down here had quite a bit of water and had little minnows in it. It hasn't had for years, but the creek was raised enough, you know, they'd come up the creek. Well, way back when we had a lot of flood water in the summer, which we not had for years, often. Oh, I was fascinated with the little minnows. And then the water run down off the rocks, and you know how the sound the water makes the rocks. Well, I could sit down there for hours if Mommy didn't make me come back and do something to help her and listen to the water run over the rocks. So, playhouse didn't mean anything to me. Oh, finally I made a little one out of some rocks. It wasn't any fun. I'd rather do something else, like look at the minnows and hunt different kind of toadstools. The toadstools wasn't, well, I just hunted them, you know, because they're pretty. Different colors and different shapes, and I'd go look at that instead of playhouses.
Well, you lived in sod houses out there,
sod house.
And you come across the prairies. I've heard you tell about that. And
Did either one of you ever see a picture of a sod house?
I have.
I haven't. Oh, I'm not right sure where my picture is.
I've heard you tell about picking up cow chips and so on to burn for heat. And
so, there's too much of it I can't remember. Of course, we stopped at my father's brother, younger than him, visited a few days, and then my mother's two brothers, if we come.
Well, how did you come when you come in a covered wagon?
Yeah, I come in a covered wagon.
How did you come across?
And we had a buggy, and 10 little donkeys, and Miles and Illinois rode in the buggy. And my papa and mommy and me and Hallie rode in the wagon and brought her clothing and bedding and things that way, all food and so on in the wagon. And we'd camp at night and make a fire, of course, and cook a meal, and it was right nice. Only when we hit a windstorm, woo, we hit a real rain and wind, and the horses didn't like it and we didn't like it. That was bad, but we only had that once. And a lot of things was going on in my mind. Of course, I'll think of them after we're gone, but one of them wasn't when we got to, let's see, we come down through southern, from North Platte to Maxwell, and then we hit southeast through Nebraska into Kansas, because there's where we stopped to see Mommy's folks around Milton, Bell, and Idana. And then we angled along till we come to, I don't know whether it was Maple something, I can't think what it was, where Mommy's half-sister lived, and we stopped there a few days. And then we come into Fort Scott, Kansas, right across there in Missouri. And then to Springfield, we stayed there several days while Poppy went into some of the places he read about, you know, had to tell you where there's land for sale. And then we come on down to Chadwick, and we stayed there, let me see, 2 months, I think, August and September. And Mom and Eleanor and Miles worked in the cannery. That was to have a little extra money for something. And if I'd wash the dishes, well, Mommy paid me a nickel, and so I saved my nickels to get me a new dress, because I was going to get to come to school. I'd never been to school in my life before.
Well, was there any house place here when you come here?
Well, the house was far into the place, 40, West 40. There's 3 40s here, and this is on the east edge of the middle 40s. And there was a good-sized log house over there. That in one room, that little shed kitchen on it, and a good-sized attic. Stan Atlas was renting the place and lived there. And in those days, you had to let them stay, if they wanted to, the first day of January. And they were the kind of people you had to get the sheriff to move them out if you wanted them out. And when the spring over there went dry, they'd come clear over here to this spring and carry water. Even when Uncle Joe Roberts lived over there, old Aunt Beth said, I don't think it ever went completely dry over there in all the years they lived there. Uncle Joe Roberts' homesteading place. And so Poppy didn't want us to have to walk a half a mile to carry water, so he built this room here, had it built. And then this log room was a little building over there, and then later on we had it brought over here.
I can remember coming over here and sitting on her dad's lap. He had long white whiskers, and his hair was pretty gray too.
Yeah, but his hair never did get white.
But it had quite a bit of gray in it.
Yeah, it had quite a bit of gray in it.
I remember sitting on his lap when I was just a little bitty kid, and he used to draw a lot of pictures, and he'd show us kids these pictures. He was a good hand to entertain kids, like Birdle always been, you know. And
this little place right here, that's where you're sitting, you can see a little offset. That was between the two rooms, and then somewhere in the 40s we fastened it together. Got enough ahead to put enough. We had to put new roofing over this room, I think. We'd already put new tin roofing on that room before, so then we run it together.
What year did you move here?
1916 in October, coming out early in October. I don't know whether we come to Brownbranch the second day or the fourth day. I used to remember, but that's 71 years ago, and I have some little papers around, something written on them, Poppy had written down, and one has October 4 and one October 2, and both of them refer to something after we come here, but I don't know which one, which date we I probably got down to Brownbranch. We stayed at Brownbranch a couple of days while Poppy and Jess Allen went to Forsyth, get the deed made out and such things.
you bought this from Jess Allen? Well, now, he used to live in this house over here, where Lee Dunn lived, didn't he? Did he live there? No, he moved to Taneyville before he died, didn't he?
Yes.
But I can remember going to visit him when he lived over here.
I think he had moved up from from Lee Dunn place up there on Canaan Creek to the Henry Day place, or Jack Lyons used to live up there. I think he moved up there first, and then from there to Taneyville. Now, I'm not certain, but I'm pretty sure because he sold this place over here in Marthin Alley.
I've heard Birdle over all these years tell about this trip in here from Nebraska. Still, it's really stuck in my mind. I told her she should write a book about it, and she said, well, it's too late now. She forgot too much of it.
Of course, I remember the things in, like, tell you a little bit, and then something will come to my mind when we come through Kansas. I haven't thought of the name of that place. Oh, Cottonwood Falls. And then there's another little town that I forgot the name of, but they wasn't a little ways far. Surprisingly close together for two little towns. They wasn't as far apart as Brownbranch and McClurg even. Maybe just a mile or two. I don't know, but they had a little horse-drawn trolley one town to the other. Oh, I thought that was one of the things to see. Of course, I'd seen horse-drawn trolleys in North Platte, but I had never seen one to go along through that little strip of country. We went through both little towns, and we stopped along the road, and everybody we stopped, and talked to them, and see if we could get some eggs or some milk or something that way. Why, they're just glad to talk to you, maybe give you the eggs, give you the milk you're going to buy from them. And maybe then they was interested, they'd give you something else, produce from their gardens extra that they had. It was a good year. And I don't know where we come to. I can see it yet in my mind yet. This is plain, where the little country road and grass and the hill and trees. And there was a spring. I'd never seen a spring before, and a little spring house.
Oh.
And they had the milk in there, and there was nobody at home. But my father went and got water, and of course left everything alone. And he must show us the children a spring, and I went and seen it. That's how I can remember the little building and the little door and everything, milk in there. And he said, now we won't bother a thing, and they won't care. If they hear we got water, as long as we never bothered anything, and he got the water. And then we went to a place, and that's something too that sticks in my mind. somewhere in Kansas we were misinformed about which road we was to take.
Uh-oh.
And we went a long ways and saw that it couldn't be the right road. It looked too much like an abandoned road. And there was there was a hill along, I don't know how long, or anything about that now, where this road went along. And way out spread out was cattle pastures, was ground, there was low places and high ones in it. And we went through that cattle pasture, and there was some long, not ordinary longhorn, but some longish horn half-breeds through there. But they didn't bother us. Poppy told us what to do if they bothered while he went and got some water. And that troubled him about that misinformation. And from somewhere he could see those fellows, the horseback, up on that road, that we, they told us to go a-watching. We always felt like they was watching to rob if we'd have gone that way. But my father drove in and where there was some land that hid the wagon and everything. I can't tell you, the low strip. I can't think what they call them, their draw or something. But anyway, there was high ground that hid it from up there. And where he was, where he could notice it, he could just see that. I never will forget that.
You was scared, wasn't you?
It was a bit scary, I know, that evening before we went to bed. There was some special prayers up with my parents for our protection. And we made it all right. We went through those pastures and come out where the road should be. And I don't know, I suppose Poppy stopped and asked something about the road and told how he happened to come through that way close to the house. And she said, "Why, that road's not used at all, they told you to take." And I guess Poppy told about that. And she said, "Well, you were in danger." And we made it safer here. We
in bad country, weren't you?
was in a place we didn't, we didn't know away, and somebody just made it give out the wrong information. But anyway, we cut across through those pastures for miles.
There used to be, back then, a lot of meanness went on, robbery and cattle stealing and things like that.
There was a man somewhere on Miles Priest that told him about a place that, I don't know whether he or somebody he knew, going through the country in wagons. There wasn't any cars in those days. Well, now there was a few cars when we come here, some old Model Ts and some other kind of makes. Just very few, because I had a little brother 5 years younger than me, and he got sick, and a neighbor took him to the doctor in North Platte. We live 11 miles south of North Platte. And whatever ailed him took his life, but neighbor took in a car. But this man told Miles about there was a storm, and they was at. Some folks come and told him they could take his team and put him in their big barn and stay in there out of the weather. I don't remember how he come to look in the big barn and just change sign. Somebody didn't feel like going in there, but somehow he went to up that way and looked, and that barn was full of things that he figured been people killed, long ago nobody heard of, and harness and things. It just scared him when he go in the barn. And you'd hear tales of people started out in wagons and never got where they were going. Didn't hear a lot of it, but not like you do now, people that disappear, but there's always been dangerous places and trips and things.
Well, there still is. A lot of times out on the road you don't dare stop if somebody's trying to hitchhike. You don't dare stop and pick them up. You hate to pass them up, but it's too dangerous.
I know it. Eleanor and I, in 1929, hitchhiked to Piatt, Arkansas. And there wasn't one person that wouldn't stop and pick you up, and that wasn't glad to pick you up and give you just as long a ride as you could, and they were just as nice as could be.
But you can't do it now.
No, you can't do it. You wouldn't know where you got. You get anywhere near where you was going. We knew where we was going. I had some friends down there, and she wanted to go see them. And we just thought it'd be fun now to do that. But it wasn't long after that, so it was 2 years. So that man was killed out here, between Radleyville and Brownbranch, and from then on, no more hitchhiking.
Well, my folks, they lived off the main road, but they used to have travelers that would come by, And they would always ask them in for a meal and to spend the night, you know, before they
Yes.
continued on their way. And my mother said one time that in all the people that came to their house, there was only one person that she didn't feel right about, and she said, I didn't sleep a bit that night.
Well, no, it seems like you can just kind of tell sometimes.
Mm-hmm. She
Something
felt
wrong.
uneasy about that one.
Back at the time Birdle's talking about, and even back when I can remember, you didn't go to the store and buy stuff like you do now.
Right.
You growed it in the garden, and
Mm-hmm.
I can remember when the only thing my folks bought was they made a little coffee. They bought coffee, and they bought salt, they bought soda, and baking powders.
Yeah.
And I can remember when we didn't have money to buy sugar.
I know those
We growed
things.
molasses, growed sorghum
Used
cane,
molasses.
and made molasses.
Mm-hmm.
My dad thought he had to have 100 gallon of molasses to start through the winter with.
Mm-hmm.
I know
Yeah,
Birdle can remember
people
that.
Yes, I know people did that. We did buy those sugar and did buy some molasses too.
Mm-hmm.
I think we raised cane one year and took it and had one molasses made
Mm-hmm.
while Miles was living. Tom Smith made molasses over there on the Berkey place on what Laquita has now. And we took cane over there.
Well, now we took ours over to Paul Hicks's and
Uh-huh.
to Alec Jenkins.
Yes.
You know, they both made molasses. And you'd haul it over there, and then you stripped it first, and then you'd load it up and haul it over there. And
Yeah, I stripped. Well, I think all three of us children stripped cane for. Tom Smith had a big patch of cane up on the field up next to us, and we stripped cane. I don't know whether we got some cane fodder for stock or whether we got molasses in pay, whatever, or money. But and back then, you know, if you could do a job of work and get something you needed, like you did it that way.
My folks grew their own cane and had their own molasses mill.
Mm-hmm.
And I can remember getting home from school just about the time they emptied it up out of the pan, and I'd get a good clean stick, you know, and scrape the foam out of the pan. Boy, it was good.
you can't get good molasses anymore, though. It's not good.
No, it don't taste like it used to.
And you know, the Turner boys over here, the Thornfield, they made growed cane, and they make molasses some every year. But this year, they growed their cane on some ground where they had fed salt mix,
Mm-hmm.
and their molasses was salty.
Oh,
That cane absorbed part of that salt.
well, that's something worth. If I won't forget it, I'll put that in the news. That's something and warn somebody up.
Their sorghum tasted salty. I didn't taste any yet, but some of the rest of them were telling about it tasted salty.
Well, I know some folks took some, a few years back up to the Stevenses. I don't know which one of them made the molasses several years ago.
It was the old man.
I kind of thought it was, but it's been quite a few years ago.
What was his name?
Forgotten. He passed away a couple
Why?
of years ago or so.
That's like some of the rest of them. I haven't told his name.
Birdle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Birdle
Birdle
Stevens.
Stevens, that's it.
Yeah, he made molasses and he made homebrew.
There was quite a bit of that, wasn't there? Birdle, can you tell us some more about your schooling, what the name of your school was, and kind of about your schoolmates and teachers?
Well, I'm at school at Brownbranch.
Brownbranch.
This is just in the corner here, between Possum Trot and Brownbranch. We're in what was the Kentucky Hall School District.
Mm-hmm.
But it was closer to Brownbranch, and so we just cut across to the pastures to Brownbranch.
Mm-hmm.
I never went to school a day in my life, but I could read when I come here.
Could you have gone to whichever school you wanted to?
In those days.
Uh-huh.
It was a lot of years before they told you had to go to your own
see.
school.
Mhm.
Just quite a lot of years.
Mm-hmm.
We went to Kentucky Hall School one year and we walked over 4 miles over there.
Oh, I know.
I tell you, I was just in the first grade, and time I'd get home of eating, oh, I was so tired I was sick.
I don't remember all the schoolmates. Of course, there was Hazel Dixon is living now, Juanita got at Bradleyville, and her sister Thelma and Goldie Lawrence. Of course, his name was Goldie Floyd then.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, nearly all the Dixons. There was Ruth and Dinny and Fanny Fanny might not have been in school that first year, but I went to school with her before I got through.
About how many would there have been?
Oh, somewhere in 60
Oh, really?
children. Eight,
With
all
one
8
teacher?
grades and
One teacher?
one teacher. Oh, there was one teacher there until, let me think what year it was. They first got 2 teachers. About 30, might have been as early as 34, 35, somewhere in the 30s.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember.
Well, I can remember when I first went to school, the sharpest one, like in the 8th grade or 7th grade, when they got their work done, they worked with the little kids then.
Mm-hmm.
I bet Birdle can remember that
Yes,
too.
oh yes. And they allowed 8th graders to help each other too.
Sure. Mm-hmm. What, did you have regular school desks? With
Yes. Yes, we had regular desks at Brownbranch.
Mm-hmm.
It sat right there where the church house sat.
Oh, uh-huh.
All
And they
the,
tore the old building down when they built the church house.
Mm-hmm.
all the difference is that church sits half right where the west side, right where the middle of the old school building was. They moved it that halfway up, farther east to on County Creek, getting up so big one
Oh,
time.
sure.
And then it got bigger than ever when we built the church.
What type of water system did you have? Did you have the water bucket and the dipper, or
Yes,
did you
that's
have?
all. That's all we
Mhm.
had until, let's see, 1926. We had to get some other kind. We had to get some water coolers and.
Was there a well where you drew the
No,
water?
we got the water from the spring
Oh,
across
you
Candy
did?
Creek
Oh.
west on the. It's still there. Then they put the pump in. I don't know what year was that pump put in. I don't think it was put in. I don't know. Maybe the pumps was all put in the same year. They put the pump in at Possum Drop in 45, and then they put the one in at Brownbranch the same year. I know they required them about the same time. I don't know whether one school got pumps sooner than the other.
Well, Possum Drop School, until they put that well in there, you know, we carried water from the spring down there on Wilbur.
Mhm.
It come out of a hillside. It's
It
like
might-
this one down here.
It might have been in late 44 that they put it in, but I don't know. What I'm thinking of, and maybe in spring 45, maybe in the fall of 44, but I know the children carried water because that's the year I taught the Possum Drop that they put the well in. They carried water from the spring for a while till the well was put in.
Oh, you taught?
Uh-huh.
How long?
About 4 years, I think.
She used to walk from here and go to Possum Hut over there on Caney and teach. She walked and went over there.
Well,
I can remember
It
when
was during wartime, and about every family had a teacher, almost in those days, and some of them had 2 or 3 that was teachers.
mm-hmm.
There just wasn't enough schools to go around, and I couldn't go a long ways off to teach because I was needed at home. I'd be where I could walk back and
Sure.
forth. And so when 45 and the war was over, well, they all begun coming back.
Mm-hmm. How much education did you need then to teach?
Well, the first year I taught, I could teach was just high school education, but I took, I took 2 courses of college by correspondence because I knew I was going to begin to ask more of you. And then I went to college I was in 38. And then I went to college and got 2 years of college after in the 40s.
Mm-hmm.
you went to SMS, didn't you?
Uh-huh, in Springfield.
Yes, you did. You went up there and stayed, didn't you?
Mm-hmm. I went summer terms. I went one of spring and summer terms to finish my 2 years because it was beginning to require 2 years, complete years then. Or you could get by if you had a school and didn't quite like it a little bit and go that summer. They had to be lenient because they didn't have enough teachers for 2 years.
Sure. Mm-hmm. You went to Bradleyville to high school?
No, I had 2-year high school at Brownbranch
Brownbranch.
in 26, and I went there about 2 years and a half work. Then I missed out 6 years, and bus come to Brownbranch,
Mm-hmm.
and I went to Ava then and finished. I got a year and a half work. They gave me allowed me to take 5 subjects and 1 by correspondence so I could graduate.
Did you have to stay at Ava then?
No,
when you...
I rode the bus.
Oh, you did.
No.
She
I-
walked to Brownbranch.
Yeah, I walked to Brownbranch. It was dark in
That's
the wintertime when I'd get there. I'd leave home dark when I get back.
a long way, wasn't it?
And a few times, though it wouldn't be dark, but a few times I took my lantern with me and
Mm-hmm.
down there where they go down to the creek to under the Beaver Bridge, where it stood. Well, of course, that land was up above the creek, and Buckfield wasn't in there. And there was a house and a blacksmith shop there, and I'd leave my lantern there at the Humberts.
Mm-hmm.
That was a Humbert place.
Back then we had 2 stores and a blacksmith and a mill at Brownbranch.
Mm-hmm.
There's a big flour mill when we came here.
Mm-hmm.
It's set down there where the blacksmith shop's set.
Mhm.
Oh, no, not there. It's right in below, right in there where that cabin is. And then after it burned, quite a while afterwards, they built a little mill by the side of the road, above the road, where you go to, well, what's W now?
That's the one that I remember.
That's one you remember. I can remember you, and it might have been Travis, or it may not have been. It's some of your cousins coming to Brownbranch. Everybody in the country come on Saturday, it seems like, do the trade, sell their cream.
Mm-hmm.
I remember just as well you and whoever it was. You didn't know what was said that day and what I thought of. I wouldn't say what I thought. I'd order them. They were some old women, you know. Oh, they was good old women, but they didn't like changes. No, no, no. They're still wearing their long dresses. And they was visiting 80 Humbert, and I was waiting there, visiting, listening to them talk. I'd like to do the listening. And you was there one of the girls that was. I kind of think it's one of the Uncle Paul's girls. I'm not sure. And you had, you know, it's kind of stylish to wear something like pajamas, you know, a while. And both of you had a pair of those. They didn't call them pajamas, but they was print pants and blouse. Oh, isn't that awful of those girls? Bad. And I wanted so bad to say, well, they've got the legs covered up and you didn't like it because a little while back the others had dresses that come to their knees. I just heard to tell them that. They've been sputtering about this dresses that come to their knees, you know, or maybe their knees show. They'd never seen mini skirts in those days. And those 2 girls was covered up good now.
Change of times.
And that was awful. And I was so disgusted with them old things. It couldn't be even pink. That if they didn't like a short skirt, that was better than a short skirt. It didn't make any difference to me one way or the other. And a dress that comes in here was a short skirt thing.
Oh, you know, I can remember my first boughten dress that I ever had. Mom ordered it. It was voile, and she ordered it from Sears Roebuck or Montgomery Ward 1, and she gave 79 cents a piece for Betty and I a dress. And it had a little petticoat with it, and she got us little straw bonnets. It was for Easter, and that was our first boughten.
Oh, yes.
And Betty she might have been 2 or 3 years old.
That wasn't Lady Humber, though, the one that said anything about what she had on, but it's some of the others that I don't even remember their names. They come clear from Eastview, you know, and there was some of the old ladies from Eastview sitting around there talking. Maybe from Hercules. This road here, where you started down the hill, there was a road that went right on around, went down Caney Creek to Brownbranch, County Road.
Yeah, that was the county road.
And I guess the store had gone out of Hercules. And the Carlyles come by, there's some old workhorses, big heavy thing, with a cream can fastened on each side of the saddle and went around. And Mommy and I'd be planting, working in McCann up there and see them go by.
With a cream can on each side of the saddle?
Cream can on each side. There might have been 5-gallon cans. I won't say there's 10, but they had cream. And they may not have been full if there was 10, but they had one on each side. That made the load equal.
They had the cream testing station down there in the side room at the store back then too. We all separated. I remember when Mom milked 17 or 18 cows, and we separated every night and every morning. And when she get 10-gallon can full of cream, on Saturday was test day, and you took it in and set it down, and you just had to wait. You know, they just one man a test, and that was Boone Hodge. No, who was it?
I don't know now who you
Mon Hodge.
Yes, and then there was Ernest Whetson tested cream a while.
And I don't remember
but that was
him.
before then, I think.
Remember Mont. I remember
Well,
Mont.
he came later. I think that Ernest Whetson was the first one, but I don't know. And the old store sat right up above where the church is, and probably one side of it sat over what is the road now.
I'm sure that it did. I'm sure that side room, where their feed room and the cream testing room, I'd say it sat anyway on the edge of the road.
Yeah, you're right. At least on the edge. It might have been over a little where the road was a little. I don't know. But there wasn't too much room between the school ground. Not much room between the school ground then and that store as there is the road and the store. You know, there's a road and some ground as there is between the church and the road now.
But that was a big thing on Saturday. Everybody went to Brownbranch. You sold eggs. I've known of Mom taking 2 cases of eggs and a 10-gallon can full of cream. And if you had corn or wheat to grind, I can remember when they took corn down there to grind for cornmeal, and you just had to take it and set it down and label it and sit there and wait till your turn.
They bought you chickens.
You sold chickens. You took chickens down and sold them.
In the winter they bought rabbits. Elmore and I hunted rabbits and sold them for Christmas money.
Yeah. My brothers did that too.
I had the best old shepherd dog for hunting rabbits. He didn't waste any time. He found where a rabbit was fresh rabbit track, why he'd go for the rabbit. A rabbit, fresh rabbit track, why he'd go for the rabbit and find it. That's another one of those things that I think about. I'd like to bet they wouldn't want to spoil the other fellow's fun. And Roy Cox sat down there and thought, what a wonderful rabbit hound he had. And he had, you know. He'd get out in old sage-grass field and he'd hunt it all through to find his rabbit. We just took this old shepherd dog and we went out in the sage-grass fields over here west and get down in the silent field with the dog. He didn't waste any time all over all the tracks that he found a fresh one. He just smelled around and he found the rabbit and went right after it and just spending all day hunting.
We used to be at the store all day then, Francis. We'd get up and get our chores done, and Mom would pack us a lunch. Of course, all we had was pork then. We didn't have no electricity, didn't have no refrigerator or freezer or nothing. And everything was canned. And Mom would get up and either fry sausage or bacon or ham or whatever she wanted to fix, and she'd make us sandwiches, and she'd always fix us a pie or a cake or something. And when noontime come, that big old tree that used to be down below the church house, we'd go down there and tie our wagon up down there in the shade, and we'd go down there and eat. And I can remember when she would give a nickel for a big can of pork and beans to go with what we had. And that was the biggest treat you ever had.
Let's see, there's something else. That big tree one year they had it all the roots that stood out there was made into separate little playhouses. The little girls had the little playhouses.
And the spring was right up on just across the creek from right straight across from the road, across from the church house down there. Spring was up there on that bluff. And we'd eat and we'd go up there and we'd drink out of the spring, and all that was the coldest water. But that was every Saturday occurrence. And this was the only money that you had.
And in those days, they had their the pastor of a church just come once a month, didn't have preaching each Sunday. And they had 2 services in their business, and meeting was on Saturday afternoon. Now everybody was coming to the store so they could trays, you know, and they'd be there for church, so they'd always have it in the afternoon. They never had it at night until people were going to get cars. The preacher had a car, and other people had a car before they had church at night. The preacher would ride horseback and come, you know, stay all night, and then there'd be people at the store that was from other communities. If they wanted to, they'd come to church too. They had a big lot on Saturday at church for that reason. That made it handy for everybody not have to make 2 trips, and they had to walk or go in a wagon, ride horseback and the like.
Oh, I can remember my folks, Carrie and me, we went 2 miles. I guess we went 2 miles to school and to church. And I can remember them going at night, carrying a lantern, carrying me back asleep.
Yes, I carried the lantern too. Oh, they're going to have a little service down here 22nd of this month on Sunday night before Thanksgiving, a little Thanksgiving program with the children. And if they can get them, they're going to get some kerosene lamps and lantern, you know, to bring except the windows. I told them I had a lantern and a lamp both I'd take for them. Hope I don't forget them now when the day comes to go.
Aline was talking about her dress a while ago. You know, my mother used to make all of my school dresses out of feed sacks. You know, we got the prettiest feed sacks.
I had them too in feed sacks.
Roughest old material. You had to starch it stiff to get it to look like anything.
That's what I wore in high school.
I sure had some pretty feed sack dresses.
First summer I went to college, maybe it was the second one, I wore some feed sack dresses to college. Took some nice ones, made them about a nice pattern. And I wasn't the only one that had feed sack dresses. There's some girls there that, of course, they didn't say anything about their being feed sack, and I didn't about mine, but they had the very same material, same pattern, you know, the different, I mean, on pattern on the side, call, and then they'd made them different. Oh, their folks had fixed them up so pretty, you know, so
mine had ruffles.
It just looked like they'd come from the mail order.
I can remember my mother would have a big stack of those feed sacks, and she'd let me go through and pick out the ones I wanted, and she'd make her dresses out of what was left.
Well, that's what mothers would do. Yes, that's mother for you.
Well, we used to get even dairy feed in those printed sacks, and egg mash, and I don't know what a hog feed came in them or not.
I don't know, because we wasn't raising hogs then when they had them. We didn't raise any hogs till 39. They might have been still getting the 2 feed sacks in 39. I don't know.
I think the shorts came in white sacks, I believe.
And we got our first hog to fatten in 39. I don't remember where we got that hog. Somebody gave us a pig. For some reason, Sal died or only had one or something. I know we had 2 or 3 pigs given to us during the years we raised hogs. And I know Mrs. Phillips had some pigs that just about to die off. And they were, that's in the 50s when they was working in, well, through not the Depression, but that drought years. And they had to go to Kansas City. And, of course, she stayed on with their parents to look after them. But they were down here, and she brought 2 pigs over. If we could save their lives, well, we could have them. One of them lived, one didn't. And the same year, Cleo Ewings had a big old sow, had just 2 pigs. And he was so vexed at her, she lay down on one and killed it. So he gave us the other pig, and we had 2 that we fattened. Give it to us that time.
Well, you used to always butcher 5 or 6 big 500 or 600 pound hogs. They had to be big then. And that was our winter's meat. And I can remember when my dad would get out and go squirrel hunting, he'd kill squirrels early in the morning, enough for dinner and supper, and then he'd go out late of the evening and he'd kill enough for breakfast the next morning.
No,
we lived on squirrels. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, when the people raised corn, they had to hunt squirrels to save any corn.
Well, tell me again about coming to Birdle's and getting the chicken eggs to see it.
Well, back then, you always wanted to upgrade your hens like people do cattle now, you know. When you get so many heifers in your field, you want a different bull because you don't want to don't want to inbreed, you want to crossbreed, you know. And that's the way people were by their chickens then. And when your hen went to setting and you wanted to set a hen, you went to your neighbors and got eggs so you'd have different hens to go with your roosters that you had, you know.
You kept that up till people went to buy and ordering chicks, you know.
Yeah.
By the hundred.
And my brother and I wasn't very big, but we walked across these hills here, and he had
That's about a 2-mile walk.
a woven basket out of, was it buckbrush we wove them out of then, Birdle?
I don't know. There were some moving out of buckbrush, I know.
I'm trying to think that's what it was. And he carried the basket, and we walked across here and get a set of eggs from Birdle. From her
Some
folks.
people split white oak and bowl baskets.
Well, now this was the little reed type thing.
You've had to use buckbrush. There's people get the long runners from buckbrush and made the baskets I know.
Yeah.
There was a lot of work in making one of those baskets out of the oak, wasn't there?
Well, now this was little stuff like Donna's basket that she had sitting down there by her stove. I think it was buckbrush is what I think it was that you wove them out of.
Well, that's the only thing you know of that people could use. I know of people using back then, and you get that, and while it's green and look pliable, and soak them a bit, and good work.
There's an old basket hanging up out there that Lester mother had, but it's just about that big around. But this one that I'm thinking about that Gerald carried over here, it was a bigger basket than that.
And Joe Floyd made baskets out of those white oak splits, big baskets. Oh, not huge, but them good-sized baskets. They look bigger to me than they were, but then there's good-sized baskets.
And we used them for everything, too.
Oh, yes. Nice to carry eggs in.
Back then, like I said, we didn't have no electricity or didn't have any through the country here. And we had to spring something like Birdle's got down here is down in the branch. And, there was possibly a hole about maybe 2.5 or 3 feet across. Wasn't very big. But we always would take our milk and butter and put down there. And when my dad killed squirrels, he'd put them in a gallon jug and put some salt in there and water and shake them up real good and take them down and stick them down that spring. And they'd leave them set there until we got ready to cook them the next meal.
And then, did you ever have a range hog come in and turn the milk all over?
I broke it. I broke it. My sis, she's 4 years younger than I am. My dad went down there to get a bucket of water one time. And he was dipping up his water. And she wasn't that old. I don't believe she's over, might have been 2 or 2.5 years old. She just big enough to toddle after him. And she found out it was fun to throw rocks.
Oh, yes.
And she told my dad, she said, I'm going to hit you. And he never paid no attention. He said, oh, you better not do that, you know. And he never thought about her doing it. And before he got his bucket of water dipped up, she threw one and hit him right in the forehead. laid the place open right there in his forehead. Not a big place, but it was fun to throw them rocks, you know.
For a child, that was fun.
She didn't realize what it was, you know. She wasn't old enough to know.
Birdle, where are your parents buried?
Well, where you turned up the hill to my place, you go right on another mile, maybe a little bit more. And there's a little cemetery.
What's it called?
Oh, it's called the Clark Cemetery, or the Kentucky Hall Cemetery, goes both names. Clark, because the first people buried there were Clarks, and the Clarks and Maggers that came from Kentucky, and the Kentucky Hall, the people who came from Kentucky Hall and settled on there, and that's how it got the two names.
Now, where's this Negro cemetery you were telling me?
I've been trying to think where my piece of paper is, has it written down. I think you go down to Union Flat. I guess you should probably stop at Burl Maggard's. I'd have to find out where. I think there's a Robert Maggard. I don't know whether Robert Maggard down there or not now. It was. Anyway, Helen Maggard told me where it was. It's down there in Union Flat. It's not very far off the road.
Oh, uh-huh.
No, I may have that wrong. That may be somebody else's. I don't know. I had it jotted down somewhere. Oh, just sit still. I've got stuff all over the place, but I don't know where it was or anything. It may be here. I was copying off and I had none. No, it's not there. Took it out.
Do they keep the cemetery up, or is it kind of grown up?
Where I have that. Not there.
She asked you, Birdle, if the cemetery was kept up.
I don't think so. Wouldn't be nobody to keep it up.
Was it a family, a colored family, or?
I suppose so. I don't know. Let me see. Here's some paper. It's located on the farm where Carl Coder lives. That's it. That's, I believe, the old Ralph McPherson place when you go down. Oh, is it 310? Up the top of Cedar Hollow, there's a road that goes down into the, you can take it and go to Union Flat. It was called, the Ralph McPherson place. Off of 76 at top of Cedar Hill, and then take the road, turn left, after going from Bradleyville. Go down it to the place you go downhill and down towards the bottom. The road turns right to the Coder house. I didn't see that road the last time I was down in there. Wasn't looking careful because I was watching my driving.
Mm-hmm.
You see what you got there.
This, I'm writing this off. Started writing this off for the woman at the Walnut Grove.
Mm-hmm. Has she
Now,
ever been to that one?
I've never been to it. I've been to that place.
Has this lady been to it
No,
yet?
she was going to in the spring, and I haven't heard from her. And I've got to get that sent to her. I wanted to add some more to it and find out some more. And I got a little information, didn't get it clear enough to put in there, but I must get it mailed to her.
Mm-hmm.
She raises, what all does she raise? Peacocks and some other exotic birds, and I don't know what else she sells. And so she's busy with that till fall.
Is she the lady that was trying to get the information on the cemeteries that you were telling me about?
Same one. I'll tell you, didn't turn her name in a minute. Janice. I don't know what her last name is now.
Mm-hmm.
She was a hootie.
Mm-hmm.
Went to school at Bradleyville, I think. At Forsyth.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to write and tell this woman about that, and she could go there and look up all of that. And I got one of the county maps that has little cemeteries marked on it, but you can't tell what the name of them is. If you know anybody to ask, you can ask somebody, in that section, if you know anyone. Or, there's little cemeteries, not near all of them on it at all, but quite a lot of little cemeteries on it. And I called Mrs. What is her name? Russell Clemens' wife about a little cemetery. If she had any idea where it was. It goes, I don't know the number of the road, but it goes, instead of, when you go through Tammyville, instead of turning toward Forsyth, you go straight on.
Mm-hmm.
I think that road goes down toward Beaver Creek. It's not too far down that way with the cemetery, and she said there were just 2 or 3 people buried in it. Of course, they might have marked one that small on that map, but if they don't, well, then there's nothing farther down that she didn't know, but she said it's right close to her place.
Mm-hmm.
Joe, Scott, Noel Scott's boy said there was Negro slaves buried over here on the camel farm.
Well, I believe I've heard that.
Said Elvin Lux had told him.
Uh-huh.
So I know where that cemetery is at.
Yes, I know where it is.
I don't know if they'd be the slave graves would be marked. Or not, but I know
No,
where
I
that
don't
cemetery
know.
is at.
And I know I've been told some of the family that there's a grave there called the Long Grave. And some member of the family died during the Civil War, and the men folks was all gone. The grown men folks and women dug the grave, and they just dug up a grave, and they made it real long, and they're digging, not knowing just how long to make it. And there, I don't know, maybe it's a young man, boy that's buried there. They always call it the Long Grave because it's not a cemetery, but right in that cemetery, that Long Grave.
Well, they used to.
Oh yes, here that. I don't know whether I have that on there or not, but I have it on here. That and right south from Taneyville, you go right on south on 230. I believe it says here 3 graves.
And that one's whose with the 3 graves?
Right straight south. Instead of turning toward Forsyth, when you get the way you turn it west to go to Forsyth on 76, that's a road right straight ahead. There you go down that. See, do I have the distance? No, this is not. Oh, it says Forsyth. No, this is something else. I'm seeing. No, I don't have the distance, but it's not too far down there.
And what is it? What's the name?
The name I have here is Grant.
Grant. Okay.
You
I
need
don't
a
think
copy
I
of
copied
that.
it onto that.
I'll
All right.
write it down. Yeah, there it is. You know, Alex Edley was telling me that there are a couple of Negro children in the Cook Cemetery at Taneyville,
Well,
and one of the Cooks is supposed to be able to. I'm going to visit him sometime and have him show me where they are. And he said he didn't know what the little girl died with, but the little boy was supposed to have drank too much home brew.
oh. Did you hear this morning where Connie and Mandy's baby was to be buried?
It's to be buried at the Roberts Cemetery, I believe, tomorrow.
I got that early this morning, and I wondered if you. I heard it. From Mansfield. Mansfield has. Mansfield and let's see, anything from Welchers and Kazee. Funeral homes gets up to Mansfield down that way.
That was a
A while
terrible.
back I heard it. Well, now, are you hungry?
I hear some little chickens.
You're in the head of my little pet chicken.
How many chickens do you have?
And just that one little chicken, I have
Oh.
5 hens that's 4 in the chicken house. I don't let them out while I'm going to be going.
She's going to come in for something to
Yes,
eat.
on something to eat.
Oh, she's a pretty hen. What kind is she?
Buff coats and CRP.
Oh, yes, she's pretty.
She used to have them.
How did that all happen? I went down to McPherson and got a set 6 eggs and put under her. She sat a week, and I suppose a snake got every one of those eggs. Well, poor old thing was so pitiful. Well, she was so upset. She found the hens had laid on the floor one day, and she found them and eggs, and I didn't think I got any eggs. So she sat all night on 4 eggs, and all night she was happy. I'd been trying to cry. Just about had it broke up. What a fit she had when I took those eggs and she didn't have any eggs set on. I thought, oh, poor old thing, and 3 times you tried to set, and I broke something trying to break you up. I'm going to get some eggs, and I can cook the chicken. And so I put it in a box right behind the stove there. So I could watch that snake. Well, Henny, I'll get you something to eat. Now, put her out some food that she didn't want to eat.
Birdle, may I write down the information you have on here if I could borrow a piece of paper?
Sure.
She's got a typewriter. You can type it.
I'd be better writing.
You don't type?
Not that well.
Now, just wait a minute. Let me help you out a little more.
Well, now, if we're going out anywhere, you can take that to school and have copy made off of it.
I can get a copy made and I go to Ava this week if you want me to.
Bradleyville School?
Uh-huh, they've got a copy machine.
Well, that might be the best idea. Okay.
They've got a copy machine if we're going to go
What
anywhere.
did I do? I don't know what I've done with that. I had a... Oh, I see it. I move things around. I hot one thing, I'll lay something else down.
If you're going to try to
Well,
go to any of those cemeteries.
If we want to go someplace, Birdle, we'll just go by the school and I'll just run a copy then.
Well,
Arlene says I can do that if you don't care to take it with us.
no, I don't care.
They've got a copy machine.
Now, wait a minute. Well, let me feed that chicken and bring up the nest of chicken left. And I have some coffee machine paper, and we'll get a couple of sheets of that and take it with us.
Okay.
Where are you, Sticky Bird? Where'd you go to? Well, the kitten's never come back in.
It's forgotten me.
This man every time. You are, where are you?
You want me to move?
Just sit still. Place is stacked with things. It's always one thing and another thing, and I just stack them up.
We used to come over here many a time and visit with them, my mother and her mother and her older sister as well as Birdle was great friends all the years that we lived back here in the hills. And still was, you know.
Mm-hmm.
See, my mother's been dead 5 years, I guess, over 5 years. But we used to go over here and visit a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't have any way to go except to get out and walk and go see a neighbor then, you know, and
Okay.
you
Thank
visited
you.
with your nearest neighbors.
Uh-huh. Sure.
Let's put this in here, and then we won't get it wrinkled.
Okay.
Then when we get the copy of you can take the paper and I'll bring that back.
Okay, thank you.
Got my doors. Doors is the old doors, made out of green wood, and they shrunk, and then finally got through everything I done to keep the cold out, wouldn't work, and I made me some doors.
Well, that helps.
It looks to me like you're just pretty handy about building a lot of things. I was looking at your wood cover out here, and
Well, I didn't build that. I just went and bought some up at the Shelby Workshop, and they bought a batch of pallets. They sell them off real cheap.
mm-hmm.
I think some of them 50 cents and part of them was $1. And I got some strips of sawmill, stone sawmill. They had discarded and fastened them together. And Bill Whitaker drove stakes to hold them up. And then I got some 2x4s and kind of put across there and laid some roofing on it.
Mm-hmm.
Birdle used to grow little calves and sell bucket-fed calves over here, too. Lester used to haul them over here and haul them out to Springfield.
Mm-hmm.
The night before we got married, you've not got that on, have you?
Yeah.
Well, but just leave that off then.
Well, the night before we got married, he'd been over to the house to see me, and he got the car stuck over here in the Fowler field. I don't remember where we'd been, but we was going in this back way. I don't even know how he got home. But anyway, he must have walked home because he brought the big truck back the next day and pulled the car out, come through by the house and got me. That's the day we went and got married. We didn't tell nobody we was going to get married. We slipped off and got married. And he pulled the car out, and I drove it over here to Floyd's and left it set. And we went to Springfield, and we come back to Ozarks. We already had our license, and we come back to Ozarks and hunted up a preacher and got married.
There's one hole there I know Max Powell got I think he went in there with his first time with his motorhome or something. Got his stuck in and had to have it pulled out.
It's up toward the upper end of it. That's where.
And out there where you come such a crook and you saw that pile of roofing, that was roofing off of the church and put new one on. And there was a big hole. If it had rocks in it, you could go straight through. And I liked that better. But then that hole, people got stuck in it. And I told them to put the roofing in there. They was wanting a place to put it, and I said, put it in that now, keep folks from getting in there.
Yeah,
Sooner or later, somebody would move whatever, someone would come through and they'd put some block of wood or something down there. Pretty soon somebody move it and go through. I know that, I'll show you something. Well, that's not it.
I thought you did an awful nice writing about our 4-H camp out at Caney Picnic Ground.
Oh, that's a good picture, Birdle.
I like that one.
That's a good picture.
Oh, yes. Very good.
Here's a horrible one.
Well, no, it's not. It's not.
Oh, I've looked like that. I've just started to fix my hair a little bit and looked especially horrible, or worse, that I wouldn't look at myself anymore.
Good.
I'm not looking at your hair. I'm looking at your face.
Now,
Well, I'm looking at my face, too. It looks...
Who took these for you?
Oh, the girl that taught me to drive. Did you ever meet the Vistas when they were at Forsyth?
No.
Well, Kathy Shoup and there's some, they took, they was taken this year, in 27th September.
Yeah, there's your other
And now
picture.
that was taken last year. Here's the girls.
Those are good pictures, Murray.
Well, you
Now,
see them.
they taught, yeah, I met them. They taught her to drive.
Here they, no, that's them and me and Toshia, I forgot her last name. These were taken last year. No, those two small ones was taken, yeah, they were all taken last year.
Oh, that's good.
And last year when they were here, they had two friends with them. And let's see, this is Donna, what's her name? Donna and Toshia. Toshia's from Japan, and she was here studying about the school.
Oh, this is good. Yes.
There's another one. Listen, I don't even know what, when or what. They didn't write anything about it, so I just got those last week. They sent them to me.
The big Texan
Somewhere they,
State Ranch Motel.
somewhere they stopped when they last year.
Where do
went
they live?
in Flint. No, yeah, Flint, Michigan. Otisville, Michigan. It's close to Flint.
Those are good.
And Davison. Kathy's, not Kathy, but Ann. Let me tell you which one's Ann. One that can tell the best. Listen over here. Ann's folks live in Michigan. Kathy's are from California. And they met when they both joined the Vistas, and they put folks together, you know, and they liked each other's company and worked. They sent them down here to Caney County. Oh, they were here a year. They hadn't been here a year when I met them, but somebody in the 22, the whole Southwest district had Vistas all under some district supervisor, and I don't know what, I didn't ask any questions, but something went wrong in the district with one or two Vistas, and they pulled the whole bunch out.
Is that right?
And they, of course, they had to go, they had to leave because they just took them all out because so people think, well, if a Vista done that, maybe the ones here do that. Well, these girls wouldn't harm you for anything. It's just awfully nice.
Well,
They come in here and taught her to drive.
is that right?
They're just the finest You could pass through nicer people.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Bill, be careful with it. Bill, flip down. That waist. I've got to answer that letter.